Hi there, I'm Cotton D. Gross. You may remember me from such Let's Play threads as Sonic, the furry dating sim, and Dead or Alive, Inside the Women's Shower Room. But today, I'm doing guest commentary for Let's All Play Banjo-Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge, and I'm here with Fish of...
That'd be me. So, yeah, right now, we've just entered Cliff Farm, and we're talking to old Bozai here, and he's teaching us how to go underwater, which is a bit different than it is in all the other games, and you'll soon see why. Whenever you go underwater, it's like you're going into a separate room. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot of underwater stuff in this game, but
No,
there are a few jiggies you'll need to get by going underwater.
And here we go. Just push a button to go underwater, and it takes you to basically like a separate room. Then we do have an air supply, you will see over there on the left. And there's our first Jiggy.
Yeah, those things completely refilled up there. Not that you'd lose it here. If you press R at any point, you can go back up.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to actually die underwater in this game. Even the longer underwater sequences have a lot of those air vents. So there's the Jinjo Oracle. Once we collect all 5 of the Jinjos on this world, we can go get a Jiggy from him, personally. It doesn't just appear where the last Jinjo got captured.
Yeah.
So we're just walking around.
And another thing that's reused from Banjo-Tooie, notes, there are no note doors. You have to collect a number of notes to get new moves instead.
Yeah, the notes aren't free in this game. But we already are going to learn a new move. Actually, most of the moves in this game, by the time you get to them, you should have plenty of notes, unless you're just lazy or stupid.
Yeah, if you're trying to hunt down those notes, it's pretty hard to be low on them. Unlike in the original, where you had to get everything. Of course, they reset your note count whenever you restarted a stage in that game.
Yeah, that was the thing.
I think a huge black eye.
This part's hilarious because I keep trying to climb this thing and I keep getting knocked off by this stupid Gruntling and I almost die. I'm like, okay, I won't get hit this time. And I jump up there, and I get hit! But he's finally dead. I don't know why that was so hard for me to do.
This is that in this game, every level, the Jinjos are the same color. I assume that's to cut down on the palette, which was limited in the GBA.
Yeah. Here's our first of the many mini games of Grunty's Revenge. These appear, I think there's at least 2 of them. There's a slide we have to collect these.
This type of yeah, the slide is repeated several times through the game. In this particular mini game, you get it done perfectly, but for a whole lot of obstacles, so it's not too difficult. In other slide means they have more objects than you need, so it's a little more forgiving.
That's true. And if you hit those spiky things, you spin out of control. And a lot of the later levels, it actually gets a lot harder than that was. So we'll go get our Jiggy from the chicken. And here I'm like afraid I'm going to hit him again with 1 more health left. But somehow I hit just to the left of him and it counts as a hit.
One thing that was in this game that I don't remember in any of the N60 games is that there are enemies that can take off more than 1 honeycomb with a hit. But there aren't any list level because it's basically the first level, so it's not too hard.
Though in the later levels it does become a lot harder to dodge things and they take a lot more health. But we do get more health from collecting blank honeycomb as well, so it kind of evens out. It's another underwater section. We got our second Jinjo. There's a grunt weed, which we'll learn about a little bit later. But basically, they pop out of the ground, and when they try to slam down on you, you gotta hit them with your backpack. So we're going up here to...
Now, the notes in this game are usually just in ones, like in the original Banjo-Kazooie, but in some later levels, they're also in nests, like in Banjo-Tooie.
True. And there's a lot of fetch quests in this game as well. For instance, we have to find Mother Chicken's 5 chicks that are scattered around the level.
Yeah, but it's not too difficult. It's not like, say, in Tribals and Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah. And I just realized at the
Best
end,
collector of all time.
at the end of her little speech bubble, she said her name was Mother Clucker. I don't know if that's something thrown in there by Rare, one of their little dirty jokes or not, or if it's just completely innocent because they're British. So there's our first chick up on that cart type thing there.
I should notice that most fences in this game cannot be jumped over. It looked like on the back of that attachment thing that chick was on, that you could jump over it by jumping on it first, but you can't.
Yeah, there's
that's a limitation.
There's a lot of weird invisible walls in this game that you just cannot cross. That's kind of how they distinguish boundaries. There's another Jiggy and a chick.
Those Whiplash things aren't nearly as creepy in 2D format as they were.
No, they were terrifying in the N64 ones. But they're like the most common enemy in this game.
Yeah.
But I still get hit by one. And again! There's a lot of places where you don't have much room to swim between them.
Yeah, you might think there's hidden something under the bridge, like, that kind of reminds me of that bottle you get under the bridge in Zelda Link to the Past, but no dice.
Great obscure reference there. Alright, another ginger by the waterfall. So what are we at, 3 now?
Yeah, we're at 3.
Alright.
3 out of 5.
So let's see what else is going on for we still need to get 2 more chickens.
One thing I'd like to point out about the Pack-Lack is that you use exactly the same move even after you get Kazooie. Yes, even while she's inside there. Seems pretty painful to me.
As we just showed off there, that's what the exclamation point honeycombs do. They cycle through each of your honeycomb, and you have to press A right as they stop, and you can get, you can end up getting more honeycomb or less. Banjo can't even get in that door because he's too fat.
Yeah, it's we saw the same thing in the beta version of Banjo-Kazooie, which Ruru had a video for.
I'm gonna say this right now, I hate this minigame. And this one is kind of easy, but there's another one later on, and this is the most annoying minigame in the entire game. I make it look easy here, but it is such a pain in the ass, and I probably had to do it, like, in all my videos before I did this one, I probably spent at least 8 times trying to do it. This game is a fucking pain in the ass.
And the worst part is that this minigame is reused and it gets harder, but I'm not going to spoil how they make it harder in later stages yet.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but here, I'll make it look easy. I got him off to a great start.
There are a limited number of sheep in this minigame. In later versions of this minigame, there aren't a limited number, so they cut you a break there, but they didn't on the other, and any other aspects of the later versions.
That was a ninja move there. I got 2 sheep in 1 swing.
Yeah, that's not hard to do if you know what you're doing.
A lot of this is luck, it almost seems, of when the sheep just happen to speed up or come in contact with your rope or where you throw it. There you go. 6 seconds left.
Horrible puns.
So luckily we don't have to do that for at least another 2 levels.
Yay!
And this is something that took me forever to figure out the first time I played this game. Up here, I thought you had to get to Kazooie to be able to do a flip-flap jump to get that up there. But then I was like, oh look, you can just climb on the roof.
Yeah, you can do this level 100% in one run. You don't need to backtrack or anything. I believe there's only one level in the game where you have to backtrack to get something. It's level 3, and you need something from level 5 to 100% it, but that's the only one.
Rare had to sneak that in. They were like, we can't make a game with no backtracking. So finally we're actually going to learn the roll, which is a great move to have because you can actually attack while you're moving, which is what is severely lacking in Banjo's inventory so far. And you can press buttons like that one. This was just a quick pause. I had to switch over coding videos, but there we go. We're back.
So now we go going into the.
We're going in.
We
gotta get that one chick. Mother Clucker's hens are complete. I'll grab a couple more notes. back over there.
Some of the notes are hidden in kind of tough places in the later levels, but this is the easiest first level, so they don't
Yeah. This level...
I 100%ed this level on my very first try.
It's not too terribly difficult. I mean, the first couple times you played, you have to look around a little bit, because stuff is kind of spread out, but a lot of the levels in this game have a pretty linear way you go about doing them. But I guess before I go in the barn, I wanted to go see what Mumbo's up to. Since we did see his skull, but didn't quite go in there. And Mumbo's actually pretty funny in this game. Since it does take place in the past, we get to see teenage college Evel. Oh, and there was the internet accidentally popping open for some reason, because I guess I left it open.
Oh, that thread is awesome. It's amazing. I especially like the bizarre one, which I don't remember his name. It's too hard to describe. I should note that I really like the music in Mumbo's pad in this game.
Yeah, it's like Mumbo's disco
remix. Yeah, I think it's supposed to sound like a Moog synthesizer, which is one of my favorite instruments ever.
Yeah, it's pretty. He's got kind of like a funky lounge music. Look, he's got like a lava lamp and like a stereo. And when you see when he transforms.
Yeah, they greatly simplified what you have to get to be transformed in this game. Instead of collecting a whole bunch of Mumbo tokens, you just have to collect one Mumbo totem, and the totem is gotten by beating the boss of the stage.
So yeah, we can't transform yet because we haven't beaten the boss, so that's what we're about to go do now. But there's only, I think, 4 Mumbo tokens in the entire game, as opposed to 40 in Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, but as opposed to the other games where you can only use a transformation in one stage,
yeah.
You can use any transformation in any stage in this game.
Which I actually really like. I think that could have implemented that into future games.
And you will have to. The one you have to backtrack to get, you use it with a transformation you get from a later stage. You wouldn't be able to do that in the other games, but you can do it here.
So here's the first boss, Klungo. Which you may think, oh, that's pretty weird for a first boss, but we fight him numerous times. He's just helping harvest the grunt weeds. But we're gonna take him out.
I hope the DEA doesn't find him. Yeah, but he's a total pushover in this boss, but he gets quite difficult later incarnations.
And it's a similar. He fights similar to the Klungo bosses in Banjo-Tooie, in that he throws beakers at you, and then shields himself, and you have to attack him when he's vulnerable.
Yeah, this is also easy because you see those honeycombs, which they cut you a break, even though they don't really get it.
You just gotta hit him 3 times. He actually gets a lot faster and throws a lot more stuff in later stages. Plus, we actually have to fight Robot Gruntilda a couple different times as well.
Oh, she gets the stuff of nightmares. That robot's super creepy as hell.
But she still has the same voice.
Yeah. And she'll be a robot again in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, there's the Mumbo token, which looks kind of strange, actually.
Mumbo totem.
Totem, right, I'm sorry. It's a totally different object.
It looks exactly the same.
So here he is,
I love
telling us what's
how every
obvious.
time that he tells you about something, he's back in the first...
he's back in Spiral Mountain.
Somehow telling you.
He's a mole, he can dig anywhere he wants. And there's another place we need to get small. So I wonder what we're going to be able to do. What will Mumbo turn us into that will make us small? So we're going to go back and see what he's going to do. I always thought that was where he transforms you, that pad down there. It always reminded me of like those Simon games.
Yes, exactly. I'm so surprised that wasn't intentional. I mean, there was even a Simon-esque mini-game in Donkey Kong Country 3, which is also a weird game.
So here we go. Here comes, we get to transform into a mouse. And here comes Mumbo's disco magic.
the mouse is extremely fast, and obviously it can go into small places. It can also bite through things like wires or cables, and you might think that it's an attack, but it's not. It does not work as an attack at all. So the mouse is basically defenseless, but it can get out of the jam quickly because it's so fast.
Yeah, that's true.
And you will be using the mouse in other stages later on.
So we're gonna go back and see what that hole in the wall was. Narrowly dodging him. Not too much in here, but there's another Jinjo. We got him, what, one more Jinjo to go.
Yeah. So, and now we have to go over to that building, which is a mill. And that got me thinking, what is it with Rareware and mills? I mean, they had one in Banjo, not Banjo, Donkey Kong Country 3. I mean, a whole bunch of mill levels. And I think it might have been one in Donkey Kong 64, but I don't remember that game too well, so I might be...
I've noticed that Rareware reuses a lot of its similar level themes. Like, there's a theme park in Banjo-Tooie and in Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah.
I mean, there's factory levels in 3 of their games.
Yeah, but remember, there's no giant mechanical shark level in any games with Banjo-Kazooie.
That's true.
There's going to be there's got to be Banjo Land and Nuts and Bolts, which is everything from the first two, every level from the first 2 games combined, and Planker's going to be in that.
Yeah. So there you go.
They're not including. They're not going to include anything from this game though, which I think is kind of a shame.
It is. It's kind of a forgotten game. It didn't sell all that well, but I mean, it got pretty high critic reviews.
I'm guessing Rare didn't have their A team working on it.
Yeah. It almost seems like it was, just made in like 6 months or so just to get something onto the Game Boy. But it came out pretty decent.
And it's not. I thought this game would be horrible, but it's actually not too terrible at all. It doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but
yeah. And you can see we can
quite adequate.
Cycle through all the different transformations. So later in levels, you can see we can turn into like a mouse to a bear to whatever he ends up turning us into later.
Yeah, I like his vibrator transformation, but not real. What do you think this is? Conker's
Spoiler
Bad
alert!
Day?
You can't spoiler the dildo transformation.
Oh god.
Speaking of which, someone should do an LP of Conker's Bad Fur Day. I haven't played that game in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got around to playing it, and I'm kind of interested, especially after those the mounted banjo head that got shown in that video in this thread.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to other older Rare games in twisted ways.
Yeah, have they ever got a reference to Battletoads in one of their games? Because they made that too.
I had no idea they even made Battletoads.
Yeah, in fact, there's one level, the Croctopie in Donkey Kong Country. There's one level where you have to swim away from gears that look exactly the same.
Huh. Oh,
they look the same. They act exactly the same. And also, in Donkey Kong Country, the Kongs make really like their jaws drop to their feet whenever they see a boss, and the same thing happens when the Battletoads see a boss in Battletoads too.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I hadn't even made that connection until now. So as you see back there, we got our last Jinjo, and we only have 2 more puzzle pieces to get, including the Jinjo puzzle piece. But the last one we actually have to put effort into, or I guess I use that term loosely, is this one here.
Yeah.
The gruntling that's smarter than all the others. The gruntweed.
Yeah.
And this is probably the easiest Jiggy in the game. There you go.
Yeah. Now, you can't attack in the air yet. You're not going to be able to get that move until level 3 when you have Kazooie with you. So, at first I thought this game was going to be a solo Banjo effort based on its first level without Kazooie anywhere, but you get her in the next level.
Yeah, me too. I thought Kazooie was going to be like the Tooty of this game, where you just have to go save her. Which would have been kind of a bummer, but I'm glad they...
Yeah,
I don't know if it was a late move or not. They decided to work it in.
She's more than a... Yeah, I thought she'd just be a MacGuffin in this game, but you actually have got her later on.
So there we go, all the notes. He's back on Spiral Mountain. And only one more
Last.
Jiggy to get.
And Regal reached the next stage. It's the first time in the series we see other Regals.
Yep,
That's
foreshadowing.
Kazooie's case.
So there's our totals. You can see that we do have
100% of
everything.
the stage in time. And so that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
We'll
yeah.
We'll pass this on to someone else to do Regal Beach. See you later.
Should you decide to do it, have fun.
Like a bullet train, moving like the speed of sound.